G'day folks, welcome to a Queensland weather app from OCC. Today, the 30th of November 2022. This update is always brought to you by a major sponsor, TownsvilleSheds.com, and my name is Chris Nitzo. Folks, two big talking points over the next 24 hours are our two lows. Low in the Gulf of Carpentaria, a bit multi-centred. There's another low potentially just to the north of Gove, and they're just going to have to battle it out to find which one's going to be supreme or which one's going to reign supreme. That's going to take a bit of time. Time the low doesn't have to really intensify, so it might limit its potential intensification into the future. But we do see a beautiful little quasi-pseudo-monsoonal air mass coming into the northwestern parts of Cape York Peninsula, and we also see a low pressure system forming around St. Lawrence this morning. That low around St. Lawrence will start to push offshore through the overnight early morning period and pushing well offshore by around about lunchtime tomorrow. You're going to see winds increasing on the southwestern side. Firstly, as the low starts to develop on the southern side, you see winds increasing, and then once the low pushes offshore, you can see all these winds to the southwestern flank increasing significantly. Sustained winds at 25 to 30 knots, maybe even up to 35 knots in parts offshore. Notice also this monsoonal air mass continues to operate through the northern Cape York Peninsula into tomorrow. So pretty windy out there on the water. Please be aware of it. It is going to be hazardous for you. And further to the north, just be aware that as this low does form, we're going to see a dry southerly and southwesterly change extending up to the north tropical coastline. So once again, if you're not ready for that 15 knot, maybe 15 to 20 knot offshore change coming through with stronger gusts, you're going to find yourself in a bit of bother. Just brilliant rainfall across the state. Inland of Mackay, we've seen some big falls in the Burdekin, big falls in the North Tropical Coast, just inland of the coastline, big falls. Cape region, big falls. Look at this, even down in southeast Queensland, around the Sunshine Coast, Fraser Coast region, we've had some big falls. But it has been hit and miss, just like we say all the time. Just because it didn't happen in your backyard doesn't mean it didn't happen. And there's a lot of proof there that it's happened. Looking at the satellite image with radar image today, you can see lots of rain in southeast central east Queensland, inland Queensland, in the southern and central parts, and also southwest Queensland. A couple of nice storms out there. Big monsoonal score lines coming into the Weipa region this morning as well. On closer examination, we can see a little bit of rotation developing on the radar to the north of Rockhampton at the moment. That's associated with the development of our east coast low. Through the afternoon, we're going to start to see showers and thunderstorms building up on the coastal ranges. We're going to see continuation of these squall lines around the northern Cape York Peninsula. Lots of showers and storms on the eastern Cape as well. Isolated activity through the northern interior and a bit more scattered as we push into the central and southern interior. Notice that also southeast Queensland, a little bit dry out there in the early half of the day. There will be some waste products from these thunderstorms streaming down into that region. Our heaviest falls are expected to be around the Capricornia region between 10 and 1. As we go to 1 to 4, you can see heaviest falls around the Capricornia region. 4 till 7, some moderate to heavy falls right on that coastline around that Yeppoon area, extending down to about 1770. Notice that we've got quite a bit of rainfall extending southwards as well. Lots of monsoonal squally type conditions across the northwestern parts of the Cape. Once again, we're watching for the development of that low. There is some potential for that low to develop. Not much, but there is some potential for that low to intensify. As we go into the evening hours, we're going to start to dry out the place. And with that drying out process will come a squally type shower and thunderstorm activity pushing towards the coastline and then pushing offshore. So you're a chance of picking up those overnight cells or nighttime cells across the eastern coastline. Generally, light patchy rain continues throughout the night into the early morning across the southern and eastern parts of the state, and we can see our low pressure system taking all of the rain away. There might be some very isolated convective showers tomorrow afternoon across parts of eastern Queensland where there is a bit more moisture, and I wouldn't be paying too much attention to the Cape forecast here as we go into tomorrow because there's a lot of variability about the Cape forecast. Multiple low pressure systems, multiple circulations, potential perhaps for one of those circulations to intensify a bit. Anyway, the Cape's something we'll deal with tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. And if you want to get down and dirty with all the weather details, head over to join.ozcyclonechasers.com.au and check out our subscription options if you'd like to support us and get access to all those nitty-gritty details. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you tomorrow.